How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. We also got to put in the disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor and this isn't financial advice. So just know when you do invest, you're doing it at your own risk. And you know what time it is. It is time for the joke of the day. If you're new to this channel, we do this 5 days out of the work week. Maybe you had maybe you had a stressful day, or maybe it was the market conditions. Well, you came to watch this video, plus you're one of my corny jokes. Here it comes. What do dentists call their x-rays? Toothpicks. Not too bad, tooth pictures. But anyways, what we're going to be talking about today is OCGN, and as well as an update coming from Bharat Biotech, which is big. But before we get started, let's go over the agenda. If you're new to this channel, just want to let you know, we also have timestamps down below in the description. So the first thing that we're going to be covering, is the big time news that came out for Covaxin, which investors really do need to know. The second thing is we want to see, how does Covaxin line up with other vaccines that are out there on the market? I feel this is big to know, especially if you're in this play. And then afterwards, we're going to be doing a technical analysis, taking a look at the price action, taking a look at the chart and seeing, is it looking bearish or is it looking bullish? I feel this is key to know and to realize. Also, we're going to be taking a look at the recent institutional ownership. Are institutions still loading up on OCGN? And what is the overall market sentiment? Is there any short squeeze potential? Well, we're going to find out. And then when all of that is done, I'll be giving you guys my final thoughts. So let's get to it. So let's go over the first update, which I'm excited to share with you guys. So Covaxin gets international recognition yet again by scientific research data published demonstrating protection against the new variant, yet another feather in its cap. And this is from one of the co-founders from Bharat Biotech. This is definitely big news right here. The fact that they were able to actually be posted in the Oxford University Press, which is peer reviewed, I must say, gives it even more legitimacy. And this is the type of recognition and as well as attention that I feel that Covaxin actually deserves. Another thing to also keep in mind, we need to know, what is the update? We need to get some information from the FDA. We want to know what the updates are, as well as the EUA. But the fact of this news is actually circulating, it's around, and it's building awareness, I think bodes very well for the future of Covaxin. Now for the second update, we want to see how Covaxin measures up with other vaccines. How effective are leading COVID vaccines? Estimated COVID-19 prevention effectiveness based on interim data from late-stage clinical trials. So at the #1 spot, we have Pfizer with 95% efficacy rate. We also have Moderna coming in at second with 94%. We have Sputnik V with 92%. And then we have Novavax at 89%. For Covaxin, it is at 78%. Oxford AstraZeneca in at 70%, Johnson & Johnson at 66%, and then we have CoronaVac at 50%. Do keep in mind of the fact we do know about some side effects for many of these vaccines that are on this list. Taking into consideration, we've heard about the side effects with AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson, and as well as Sputnik, which caused 4 deaths, what we know of as so far. So just taking this into consideration, the way how Covaxin was actually developed, and it's showing that it's showing some great effectiveness against emerging variants, I definitely do believe that Covaxin should probably be up higher on this list. But at the same time, I do understand in the fact that they probably need to actually put more data together, maybe get more people actually taking the vaccine, and maybe we'll be able to know, well, you know, what are some more potential side effects down the line. But do keep in mind, they are using the actual COVID-19 virus, which is dead, of course, when you get the vaccine, and then that's how they're actually, their base is off of. All the other ones, they tend to use newer technology that is different, but again, what Covaxin is actually using has shown to be very effective, especially against emerging variants. So that's why I feel like it still has a niche, it's still effective. So let's get into the technical analysis. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for OCGN. So let's take a look at how it performed today. So it ended up closing at $8.60, being down 1.71% on the day. On the low, it tested $8.48, and then on the high, testing $9.11. So one of the things that we want to go over and what we covered on Friday was the fact that it's still holding up this level of support, which is key at this $8 level. We also did talk about how well it could actually hold up $8.50. It did test $8.48 today and ended up actually rebounding very well and closing the day at $8.60. But what's going to be happening tomorrow? But before we actually get into that, let's take a look at how it's lining up with our indicators. So right now it is below the 100-day, the 200-day, and it is below the 21-day EMA as well. So it's looking fairly bearish. It is selling off. Also, do keep in mind, if we take a look at the RSI down here, down below, it is around that 40 level, so it's just below fair value. And I'm going to say it again, if you do believe in the long-term prospects of OCGN, then definitely this does provide somewhat of opportunity. But do keep in mind, there is some possibilities, especially if you don't get any news or any updates, this will pull back to around $8. So I want you to be aware of that. The next level it could potentially pull back is right here around 7, and also another area right here around the 630 level. And in regards to tomorrow, we'd want to see some strong moves from OCGN to actually reclaim the 21-day EMA where it's set at $8.70. I definitely do think this is possible. The market conditions were not the greatest, so what I'm looking for is seeing it get back into that $9 area where it's definitely been comfortable, it's been used to. We could see in the past this was a particular area of support. With more momentum and more volume and hopefully getting some updates as far as a catalyst, we can end up reclaiming here at the 100-day right here around $10.64. So that is the best case scenario that we're looking for. So I gave you the areas just in case it decides to pull back, and I gave you the areas you want to look out for as far as for a bullish movement. So we're on Fintel, and we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information for OCGN. So as we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. And as you can see, as of May the 17th, we definitely have institutions who have been loading up. They've been loading the boat on OCGN. So overall, in general, the sentiment is definitely bullish for institutions and hedge funds that are looking at OC. So that is great to see. If we take a look at the short interest information, as we take a look at the short volume ratio, it is at 34%, and this is taking into consideration as of close on Friday. So there's definitely some short squeeze potential here in OCGN. If we take a look at the short shares availability, it stands at 700,000, and the short ball free rate stands at 5.06, which was all updated 11 minutes ago. Just seeing the history of the short volume ratio definitely has increased from what we saw here back on May the 12th, being at 32 and then 33. And again, we're used to seeing OCGN at an average going as far back as May the 3rd having a lot of short volume. So what does this mean? There's also a lot of people who are betting on the fact that, hey, OCGN, the current stock price is too high. It needs to come down. So this is what it's telling us. There's a lot of skepticism here, and I'm not too surprised about that considering the fact that we are waiting on some key catalysts and some key news for this stock. When we do end up getting it, then we could definitely possibly see that short squeeze where we end up seeing strong moves in price action. So for my final thoughts for OCGN, there's still a lot of promise in this stock. One thing we noticed, institutions are still loading up. They loaded up on the dip today. We do got to take into consideration the market conditions also weren't the greatest. So the fact that we still saw some price strength from OCGN is something to be proud of. Another thing that we also need to take a look at, the short interest ratio. Yes, this stock still has some short squeeze potential. And we know if certain news or certain catalysts come through, which is the EUA update, then you could definitely see some strong price action to the upside. Another thing to also consider, we are seeing that Covaxin is making some big time headways. We see that it has been peer reviewed from the Oxford University Press, and it's gaining a lot more international recognition. Is this going to put more pressure on Biden to make sure Covaxin comes into the US? hey, this is something we're gonna have to be patient and wait and see what ends up happening. But one of the things I am seeing is the fact that as far as this whole pandemic is concerned, it is great to see that Covaxin is flourishing and it's showing how effective it actually is. And to kind of finish up this video, of course, I play this off strictly momentum. Anyone who's holding shares, just know the volatility that's in this stock, and that's all I really have to say. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.